let's get into it. Today we are talking about the production phase of Clocked. And I have a lot of thoughts. Starting off, I did kind of micromanage in the pre-production stage. But with my personality, I just felt like I needed like a step-by-step guide of like, this is how you do it. By the time I got into production phase, because I didn't want to have to think too much. I just wanted to be able to like execute and get it done. Because obviously, like, I was making a lot of choices in like other areas of like, you know, like, you still have your shot list and your storyboards and stuff like that, but you still have to make choices of like, well, actually, turns out there's a white wall here and a red wall over here. And what do I want that to look like? Or how do I want that to play out narratively? And it's just a lot to think about. So that was one thing I was really happy that I did, is I was very like meticulous about like the pre-production stage. So it kind of allowed me to it did just allow me to have a more fluid production stage. So if I had advice to give anybody who is starting off, trying things out, again, it's better to be over-prepared, have extra, do more, than to be under-prepared. And I don't know, I think that's something like you hear a lot and you're like, yeah. Like, I don't know, you just don't like, I just don't think you like realize what that means until you try shit out. So, other advice is try shit out. Okay. So first, as far as the logistics of filming, I just filmed in my house. And I purposely made it a night scene because I wanted it to be like controlled of like, I could film at any time. I was doing a lot of like getting home from work and filming on weekends, or like I'll have like remote days, and then sometimes I have like time to do other things because I'll like get my work done for the day. And I would like film like when I had free time there. And part of it was definitely like a learning curve, and I think I wanted to give myself time between like filming sessions to figure out the kinks of that filming session and do better in the next filming session. But I also like really drug my feet on executing this thing, honestly. Like, it was a good, like, I think I could have gotten, if I had like really just sat down and did that like the entire weekend, I think I could have done the filming in like 3 days. And again, that would have been like 12-hour like filming sessions and stuff, and it was a lot too. Like, I remember the first couple being like, okay, I'm done, I'm ready for a nap. And I just did like a scene, which my scenes were pretty short too, so that was definitely like something I want to find a better balance with, is like, I was kind of dragging my feet on like filming and like finishing up like even the reshoots. Like, the Madam Spectre ones weren't too bad because they were filmed here like in the office, versus like all the other ones that were downstairs. Like, I learned a lot of things about filming in your own house. Is number one, it was August when I filmed, and like a little bit of like seasonal depression, because every time we were in the house, like I just left the trash bags up as much as I could. And eventually I like kind of took some of them down because where I knew I wasn't gonna film again. Because I was just like, I need sunlight again. Like I need sunlight in this house. So that was like, I don't know, just like an annoyance of like filming in my own house and also taking that long to film. Like it wasn't that big of a deal for like a week, but once we hit like the 2 to 3 weeks mark, I was just like, okay, I'm done. I need these trash bags off. And I think that was part of my deal too, is like I talked about in the last video, about kind of feeling like I was just like checking boxes and trying to get through the production stage just like as efficiently as possible and not as like necessarily as creatively as possible. And I need more of a balance of that. So I think that definitely applies to that too, of just like my scheduling of like how much work I'm getting done and yeah, thoughts. So I kind of talked about a little bit, but I filmed all the scenes with Jenna down in like the main part of my house, like our living, dining, and kitchen and bathroom, all on our main floor. And then I filmed all the, I almost called her MJ, Madam Specter's parts up here with the green screen. That way I could just like impose her in. And one, on top of the trash bags, one thing I will say is my dog is not a fan of me filming downstairs. It was kind of like a thing, it was just like an issue of like, I was like kind of in high emotions and my dog's like a very sensitive dog. And, and he did not like the like slamming of doors. I don't really feel like I was yelling too much, but I was like, I did have a couple scenes where I was yelling and I think that freaked him out. So every time I was like, put up the like lights for filming, he definitely was like in the corner of the room being like, oh my god, please don't. Which I get it. But so that was another thing too, is I was like, after like the yelling scene, like I really noticed it, like my volume bothered him. So it's funny, like you could tell the scenes that I filmed after that scene, I'm like I'm talking the way I did in the pre-production video where I was out in public, where I was like trying to keep my voice down and just not over enunciate and project. But so that was something I like kind of felt bad. I felt bad. I didn't want to like ruin my relationship with my dog. And so I kind of was like quieter like during scenes after that. And obviously if I was just like rented out an Airbnb in a house, then it wouldn't come with pets, more than likely. I've heard some horror stories though. So that was another issue of like filming at home. I definitely kind of left it up to my directing self, like my production's directing self, to decide, because I really had no idea how I was going to shoot the Madam Specter scenes and like do the digital infos into the final cut. Originally I was gonna do this whole thing where I was gonna like film because there were only a few scenes where it was like Jenna and Madame Spectre like in the same frame at the same time. And honestly too, like anytime Madame Spectre's in the on screen, Jenna's on screen because it's like a part of her. Like, so it doesn't make sense. Like, I always wanted it to be like Madame Spectre in reference to Jenna. Like, even like within, like Jenna will have shots on her own, but Madame Spectre doesn't have any shots on her own where it's like just her. Like, there's even a shot where like it's like the corner of my shoulder. And Madame Spectre's on screen. Just really like emphasizing the illusion of like this person is a part of this other person. Like they're not necessarily like two separate beings. So I really had no clue. So my idea was that I was like, I'm gonna like tape the hell out of the ground on like how I did the lighting and how I did the camera and stuff, and then at the very least I can like shoot the Jenna shot, and then because like Madame Spectre is a whole lot more makeup and stuff like that, then go upstairs, do my Madame Spectre makeup, get all that stuff on, and then come back downstairs and shoot the Madame Spectre part, and then I can just like basically like do a little mask on the scene and call her a day. Just like parent trap that shit. And I realized that is really not efficient. And I didn't want so much inconsistency in the Madame Spectre makeup, and I am fresh. That was like probably my first real drag look I've done on myself. I've had like other people do drag looks on me, so I feel like that was like a good reference to be like, to kind of have an idea of like, okay, how to shape my face and where to put my eyebrows and things like that. So that was like definitely like having other people do drag makeup on me was definitely like a good reference point for this one. And honestly, too, I've had this conversation a lot with my hairdresser because she also worked at the theme park with me for my job in college. And like drag makeup is just really, really dramatic, normal people makeup. Like very, very artistic, dramatic, normal people makeup. And for the most part, like the traditional like drag look kind of thing. And my mom was not into makeup. Like, she was not a makeup person when I was growing up. And then on top of it too, like, there were a couple times that we got makeup and like toy kits and stuff like that. And my parents were pissed that we were wearing makeup as kids. Like, they were fucking pissed. Which I really don't understand why. Like, they really saw it as like a maturity, like, oh, you're sexualizing yourself if you're wearing makeup. So I feel I really had this like anti-makeup stage for a long time where I was like, I'm not doing any makeup. And then obviously I had my theater job and I was like, makeup can be so much fun and it's just like another form of art and blah blah blah. Like I know during Halloween and like theater, like doing theater growing up, like I always really got into makeup because it was like very like painterly, and like I would do like, that was like my thing. Like we would have dress up days. Like I was the kid that like people are like, oh, she's gonna dress up and she's gonna go fucking hard, like painting her face and doing these like crazy makeup looks. And one time I did this Joker look and I literally made my own vest. What for? Why did I do that? To say the least, the Wicked cast, and on their enthusiasm level is definitely an inspiration for me. So filming at home, there were definitely like pros and cons. To bring it all back. Sorry about that. Uh, so filming at home, there's definitely some pros and cons. One thing that it was nice was there were definitely certain scenes where I needed a second person. Like, I did almost everything by myself, but there were a few scenes where I needed a second person. Like the phone scene, that was really great to have Mike there for, because one, it was my first time acting on camera like that for my own stuff, and I was just like, I can't tell if this is good or not. Like, I know it's not good. I know it's not good, but I cannot tell you how to fix it. And it was good to have like another perspective to be like, maybe you need this, or like, this is what I'm hearing. How can you fix that? And like giving me the like opportunity to figure out how to fix that. I think at the time I was like overwhelmed by stuff, and I do apologize, Mike. I don't think I was like fantastic at receiving every critique, but it was all needed, and I appreciate it. So, it was great to have Mike. He really helped out with my lighting, and I will definitely post on my TikTok. I have a couple like shots of my like lighting and stuff, because my lighting was kind of ridiculous. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But he did help me, like the final scene where it goes from like being all me and all like the pink red to it like being daylight. That was 100% Mike on the lighting. So much appreciate Mike. He helped with camera work, he helped with lighting, execution, and I don't know, much appreciated. I wouldn't have gotten the project done without him. And I think it was good too, like, because he really helped out, like, towards the beginning of the project to, like, really bounce things, ideas and stuff off of him, and just kind of have another person to, like, interact with during the creative process at that stage, just because I was really just doing shit and all by myself, and it was kind of good to get out that energy of just like trying things, because like I definitely think I would have been embarrassed if like I had done that. Like if I had like worked that way on set on somebody else's project. Like I am happy with the project I came out with, but I think like it was a lot of like learning. Like there was just so much learning happening that like I'm glad I wasn't learning on somebody else's time in that way. Like I think you should always learn on a project, but there was just so much that I needed to learn. And I'm very much like a trial by error person. Like I'm not the type of person where I could be like director's assistant and be like, okay, I know how to direct now. Like I need to be in the director's chair to figure out how to direct. Speaking of lighting, I should talk about my lighting equipment. So I had 3 different LED lights that I literally just got off of TikTok Shop. Shame on me. But they were $30, and they're 30-watt like LED lights. So they come with like this app where I can change them to like basically whatever like light color I want. The only thing is I can't do like I would have to pick out like the color. Like they don't have like a Kelvin like the temperature scale for the light, rather than like they just have like the LED like palette picker circle thing, whatever you call that. And so that would be my like one critique of that. I think also too, like I would love a 60-watt light, and I just literally bought like these like $10 like camera tripods and screwed on the lights to the tripods. And then, so I think in total, like, it was probably like $40. No, $25 per light. So I spent $75 on those lights. I already had this like LED stand up lamp. It looks like the like Pixar lamp, but it's gray, and it has like an LED bulb in it that also like has an app where I can change the color. I didn't use that one quite as much because it just isn't quite as strong as the other, or directional as the other lights. I can pick out the like temperature a lot better, so I think it would be a better light to use for like more natural environment type things, or even like showing it in the shot. Like, I would be comfortable, like, it's a pretty bare lamp as far as like aesthetics go, so I feel like you could kind of throw it into a lot of places. So I don't know, I guess start looking out for that lamp. I really need that on a shirt. Damn. Okay. Final thing on production stage. Oh, no. I have two things. Final thing that's not. No, it's reflective still. First thing out of my two things. We're just gonna get to the point. For the green screen with Madam Spectre, I kind of talked about it earlier, just like, I had all these plans, and then finally I just landed on the green screen, and I was like, okay, cool. So I have, like, the basic, like, $70 camera, photography setup from Amazon, where it has, like, the, like, lights with the umbrellas, and, oh, which I definitely could have put my lights on those stands. Too late now. It's fine. It worked out. So I have that, and part of it is like there's like a big stand that like will go, and I've definitely posted videos on my TikTok, so if you're interested in seeing that setup, you can go find it on my TikTok. And it had like a green screen background, and I just wanted to make sure it was as flat as possible. That way, like, the computer has an easier time like catching the shadows and stuff. It doesn't have to worry about like background shadows versus like your own personal body shadows, or the shadows of the thing you're trying to like mask out. So the first time I did it, I tried to mimic the lighting that was in the scene, because I was like, this is what you do. And that is what you do. However, it made it, like, I obviously, like, some of my scenes are, like, crazily lit, and I think it would make more sense if I had more natural lighting, that I would need to do that. For the way that my certain scenes, like, most of the Madame Spectre scenes were, like, the bright, like, all green, all pink, or a mixture of like the green and pink. Like, the only natural lit scenes are the first couple shots, are the first couple shots, and really, like, they're still like pretty like artistically lit. So the Madame Spectre ones, like, I would like flood the light, the like pink light in here, and do the green screen, which, yes, I know what you're thinking. Pink light, green screen, nasty look. Very nasty. Also, it made it really fucking hard because everything was pink for the computer to pick up the mask, or even me, honestly. Like, I couldn't even fucking do it, and I'm a human being. And, so, I mean, like, I could have sat there and done it, but it would have been, like, way too much work, and I was like, it's worth reshooting this and I just did like normal ass lighting. So the videos on my TikTok are all the second shoot, and they're like or not all of them, most of the videos on TikTok, like you can see the natural lighting where you can see the color of my dress and stuff. They're all that second shoot. And yeah, that was interesting because it was also like I would still try to set up the camera in a way where it was like capturing the same angle. Like there were certain things I could do, and I used Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects to edit. So there were certain things in After Effects where I could kind of change the perspective and stuff, which I used. But it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't like the cleanest look, and I just have a better idea now too. I think I need to do a better job. Well, first of all, I would love to have two cameras because I would love to get like pictures of my setup and stuff like that. Even just for my reference, like if I'm in that instance where I need to like replicate it, like I literally have exactly what I laid it out, and I can get it like pretty close to that. Which I mean, if you had like a DP, then like they would be keeping track of that stuff. But I didn't think about that. So, oh, another thing that I did not think about and was kind of an issue in like even the second time, I don't know why, I was really nervous. I did not want to like act up against myself. Like I didn't want to have like the other like I definitely could have set it up where I had like the like raw scene of Jenna's part playing while I was acting for Madam Spectre. But I was like stressed out about that for whatever reason. So that was kind of an issue of like timing, of like making sure like the Madam Spectre parts fit in the like already filmed scene of Jenna. And that was something where like when I did my reshoots, like not only did I completely reshoot the Madam Spectre parts, but there were certain like Jenna scenes that I had to reshoot because I like did not have enough time to get the like Madam Spectre line in there or whatever. So, and which I was really glad that like I took the time and did reshoots, and like even that was something that like I thought of and like made sure to do, because I was like, I don't know, I definitely had a moment where I was like, I don't want to film again. And I don't know, I guess I just I'm proud of myself for going back and fixing those things, and also recognizing too, because like it was real easy. Like I had a moment where I was like, I need to reshoot everything. And I was like, that's not gonna help me. I just need to finish this project, honestly. So I reshot what I felt like was like absolutely necessary and like complete the project. And then yeah. Final thoughts, which I've kind of talked about some of this. So I will try to go quick, but I just wanted to say what I learned from this stage, because I feel like there was just like so much. Like I am definitely like a different creative coming out the other, and that sounded weird. I'm definitely a different creative after doing a like directing project. And I learned a lot of where like I'm at, the things I want to work on, and the things that like the things that I want to work on that I already have habits around, and the habits I want to develop when I am in a setting where I'm like with other creatives and with other just people, working with other people. Which I'm very excited about. I think the biggest thing that I learned in that process is that like, and I think that's something that I've like wanted to develop for a while, is just like the ability to like stay calm during the storm. Like when I'm having to worry about like 12,000 things as a director, and I need to make all these decisions, like doing it from a place of like creative passion and not panic. Like I think there was like, again, like back to the level of like having a roadmap from my pre-production stage to go off of, but also like that being like not scheduling in time for me to like be creative in the moment, or give myself space to like make creative decisions, or just experiment, like do a shit ton of takes and see what I get out of that. So that was something I definitely learned on both like the acting and directing side. Especially in that setting where I was like doing most things. I think it'd be different if I was like had like an assistant director and somebody doing lighting and somebody like just somebody taking care of like continuity stuff and things like that. Like I think I was just like so worried about all of that that like I just wasn't able, like it was so hard to be in directing mode and acting mode. Like I think there's like moments in the film where I'm like, I can definitely tell I'm reacting to myself acting as a director in the acting part, and I'm like, obviously that's not good. That's not what I want. So I think that's something too where it's like, and part of it too is like I'm just like in a learning stage of both. So I'm having to like be an actor and give myself grace of like, you know, I'm new at this, fairly new at this, and giving myself grace in that space of like, I can only go to my furthest ability at this point, my skill level at this point. And then also being a director and like knowing that, but also knowing like, these are my expectations, this is what I want to execute. So I don't know, there was there was a lot going on. But yeah, I feel like I talked about a lot of this. But yeah, I definitely think like if I had more people on set to help me out with more things, then I would be more open to doing like an acting directing duo like myself. But and I don't know, there's like, I can't tell if it's just like an ego part of me or just like a like creatively it makes sense because I know exactly what I'm looking for type thing of like, I do like acting, and even if it's not like the main role or whatever, like I do like acting in my own films. Like I don't necessarily want to act in other people's. I'm not dying to act in other people's things, and obviously unless it's like the right project. But like I do want to be a part of the acting side of things because I feel like, I don't know, which it wouldn't be that way, but I feel like when like you kind of don't have to stress out about as much of stuff. You only have to worry about like your part and your role, and you get to go like very deep into that, and almost kind of like it's kind of good to blind yourself from like certain aspects of the storyline in the future. That way like you can have a more like creative, natural response to things. Whereas like as a director, you have to like hold both roles of like being an actor, being in that character and being that, while also like controlling the environment. Yes, which I feel like that really just tells you where I'm at as far as like my thought process behind directing. Yeah, and I feel like that's pretty much it. I've kind of talked about everything that I learned like throughout this, but I don't know. If y'all have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Especially if you've been through like production stage on any role. Like, I'd love to hear advice, thoughts on that. If you want to work, I'd love to do that together. I don't know. I hope you have a great day. I hope you do something creative or learn something about creativity. And I will catch you on the other side. The other side being post-production. I think that video is going to be really short. Just doing myself. That's drywall, that's not wood. I think that video is going to be fairly short because I don't know. I have a lot to learn in that area, so I won't have much to say for that area. So, have a good day. Do something creative.